Welcome to TV20 Classic Sports. I'm your host, Christian Patterson. From all-star matchups to championship games, we've reached into the vault to bring back a part of Cleveland history. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy this episode of TV20 Classic Sports.
It all started months ago in early September, where 52 tackle football teams involving over 1,600 young boys, as well as 26 of the cheerleading teams involving over 320 girls, began a mission. As we know it today, it's the Cleveland Muni football program here in the city of Cleveland. And today I want to welcome you to our pregame show. Today we're going to find out from people that really know about Muni football that started years ago, as well as the people around the league, what it's really been all about. And after today's show, stay with us because we're going to have the championships. It's a blistery cold day here in November, but when it all started back in September, everybody had the dream of making it through this program to championship day. We're at St. Edward High School where they're enjoying one of their best seasons ever, 8-1 and looking to get to the state playoffs, and we're with their head coach of 7 years here at St. Edward's, Coach McQuaid. Welcome, Coach.
Thanks a lot.
Coach, the Muni football program is probably one of the more popular ones in the area. Your views of the Muni football program, how it's impacted your program here at St. Ed's?
Well, we have some guys the last couple years who are coming in and they're working hard and they're contributing a great deal to what we think is a successful program. And you go to the games, there's a lot of enthusiasm there, kids, people in the stands, the cheerleaders, everybody, and it's a great environment to just watch football and hopefully get some guys that can come here and go on further in their life.
Can you tell us a little bit about the two players that are right now at St. Edwards that came from the Muni football program?
Well, right now, starting on our team, we have junior Dewan Gross starting at defensive back and flanker. He lettered as a sophomore last year, which doesn't usually happen at this level of competition. And he's been a very impact player this year, returning kicks. He's returned a couple for touchdowns. He's returned an interception for a touchdown. The other guy we have is Cedric Goff, and he's our starting fullback. And same thing, he was a good player on our sophomore team last year, and he stepped in this year and been a starter on our varsity, and they both are doing very good jobs for us.
A lot of the people that are watching our program tonight really wonder what is the criteria, what does a coach look for in a player that comes to St. Edwards?
Well, we always look for guys who play hard, that's for sure. They're very aggressive on the field. The one thing that sometimes people miss, though, is you can be the best athlete in the world, but the first thing that the school checks is your report cards from where you're coming from, and your grade, your academic records, and your discipline records. And you can be the best athlete in the world, but if you're not doing the job in the classroom and discipline-wise, you're not going to get into our school or any other school in the area. So it's a total package that the school looks at, and the coaches say these guys give good recommendations. They're good people. They're team players. They work hard, and those are the kind of guys that usually are successful as they go into high school.
Thanks, Coach, for coming by with us, and good luck in the state playoffs hopefully this year.
Well, thanks a lot, and thanks for all your help with the Muni League.
A story that comes true all the time. We hear about the coaches in the Muni Football League talking about a kid that makes good. Well, we're here at St. Edwards with Dewan Gross, and Dewan, defensive back, wide receiver, starter. Got to make you feel pretty good.
Yes, sure did.
Listen, Dewan, when you first left Muni football and you came here, what were some of the challenges that you went through and the adjustments you had to make to actually make it at St. Edwards?
Just work harder, coming out of class, just coming out of school, running, to coming to play football, practice school.
There's a lot of kids out here today that are looking at this program that started in Muni football. First of all, tell us a little bit about your view when you played for Desmond Howard. And what advice would you give them if they were looking to follow in your footsteps?
It's a different environment coming into high school, and you just got to work harder and just stay focused at what you got to do.
When you played in Muni football, any fond memories?
Yeah, championship in '95. that we won, caught a touchdown pass for a score.
Okay, also with us is another standout player. He does all the running and the hard running they call the fullback position, Cedric Golphin. Cedric, you came out of the Muni football program. We're going to put you on the spot right away. Coach Bruce Walker, who could be in the championship tonight, tell us a little bit, what does he stand for? What did he kind of teach you?
He taught me that, always keep up at what you're doing, don't let nobody ever get to you, and just keep at a consistent basis on how you do your practice, always practice hard, and, just make a lot of, keep friends and don't let nobody get you down at what you're doing, And he taught us to always keep a good head on our shoulders and keep a good mind at what we're doing.
What did Muni football really give you a lot of insight and prepare you well for coming into high school?
It prepared me pretty good for high school, but high school is a lot more harder than Muni football. But it prepared me good enough so I can cope and hang with it. High school football.
Obviously, it's more than what happens on a football field. What advice would you give to the kids other than the football abilities that they need to prepare for?
I tell them to stay focused at what they're doing, and don't let nobody get to you and talk to you out your game, and just keep at what you're doing. Think of it as a Muni league, but just in high school, and just try to do what you usually do. Just try to stay at your own sense, and just stay focused at what you're doing.
A final question I'd like to ask you is, obviously, you had to make a decision someday to get in the game of football, and obviously Muni football must have been the first starting point. What is the thing that encouraged you to join into Muni football?
Probably my friends, and I like the sports a lot too. And I wanted to play, and that's the only team I can play for at the time. And I knew it would keep me out of trouble, so I went ahead and played in the Muni football league.
Okay, thanks guys for both coming by. And that's it at St. Edward High School as they're looking for the state playoffs. It's one thing when you think of a program and we talk about the players, but really there's another key ingredient, and that is the coaches. Our special guest is Coach Williams. And Coach, let's talk about your career, which really started as Player of the Year in the Muni football program, but let's give a rundown exactly what you've gone through.
Well, in 1980, I had a chance to take part in the Muni Football League. I was actually the MVP of the Muni League. I was with a team called Navy Park. Unfortunately, they're no longer in existence. I was fortunate enough to play under a coach. I can't even remember his name. Sorry, but I'll keep going. That was a great experience for me. That really toughened me up. I came from CYO before that, but then the Muni League, it really strengthened me. I got to play with a lot of good athletes. That was the first time I got to participate with a lot of good athletes. I then went to St. Edward High School, where I was the Player of the Year my senior year in 1986-87. I was the running back of the year, AP UPI. After that, I attended North Carolina State University, where I was a freshman All-American as Sporting News. Unfortunately, I got hurt there. That was the end of that football playing. Fortunately, I had a chance to give back. I came back to St. Ed's last year, and I began coaching. One thing I would suggest to the coaches out there: have patience with the kids today. It's changed since we've played. One thing you need, really, I stress, like I said, is patience. I think that's the most important thing you need to have. Football hasn't changed much, but the kids' attitudes have.
Coach, obviously, when you look at being a coach, if you were going to start all over again and tell the coach, this is what you should be teaching, this is what you should be emphasizing on the youth level, what would it be?
Fundamentals. I think just running, blocking, and tackling. I think that's the most important thing. You see kids come to the next level. Like I said, I was fortunate enough to go to 3 different levels. Some kids, they don't know how to tackle, they don't know how to block, and they don't know how to run. And I think those are the things that we need to stress. That, and you need to stress a lot of discipline. And you'll have a lot of successful people coming out of your programs if you stress those 4 things.
Coach, our special thanks to you, because it really means a lot when we see people that have started out in the program now giving back.
Well, it really means a lot to me. Fortunately, we've been able to bring in some kids here. I went through the program. I was the only Muni League kid here. There was a guy before me named Kelvin Farmer. He was a Muni League product also. But now we have 3 or 4 coming in every year, and it's a wonderful thing. because it provides them with an opportunity to play good football as well as get a great education.
Well, we want to wish you good luck, not just on the football field, but also with all the kids in the classroom.
Well, thank you very much, and good luck to the Muni kids out there.
We're here with the president of the Muni Football League, Lenny Jackson. Lenny, I know you intertwine with the Cleveland Public Schools, Interscholastic. We see here the high school championship, but really there's a big victory that you're really celebrating today.
No question about it. HO31 was most important for the young people of the city of Cleveland, and certainly through the help of Arnold Pinckney and the mayor, we did pass HO31. It's for the kids, and it's always going to be for kids, and this is going to help our program enhance much better, especially with Muni football and well as our program right here now.
Well, we've talked about it's for the kids. And before we talk about the kids and being in the Muni Football League, you know, from your perspective, I know there's been a great relationship with the Cleveland Public Schools as well as the city of Cleveland. Can you explain to your viewers how that ties in?
Well, it's been a joint recreation commission been set up, and that was set up in 1946. We worked together with our baseball program, enhanced that through the city recreation department and using their facilities. And in turn, we allow, as the Cleveland Public Schools, allow the young people of the city immunity program to use our facilities. Hopefully within the next year or so, hopefully with the mayor taking over the City of Cleveland Athletic Department and probably the city schools, that's going to greatly enhance our program and make it a joint effort, because it's on behalf of kids, but more important, it's on behalf of Cleveland, and Cleveland is important for us to bring our program together, to bring these kids of the Cleveland Public Schools together, as well as the community of Cleveland. I think it was a sound and resounding effect when 11,000 people overwhelmingly voted in favor of the levy. We won by 11,000 votes. That was a mandate. That was a mandate for change, to make changes in the city. And so be it. If the mayor takes over, whoever takes over, we want to see a difference in the schools. And we make sure that we are accountable for the people of this community.
A year ago, we talked about the Cleveland Muni football program, obviously the challenges, dealing with the coaches. What has taken place this year to improve that?
Well, one of the things that happened, Mount Sinai was very much involved in putting together CPR and sports medicine for our young people, our coaches, and that really enhanced our program because all of our coaches need CPR and sports medicine. It's mandated by the state, which is a part of the Ohio Revised Code. And anytime a youngster get hurt out in the field, somebody should be there to be able to take care of them and to be able to ensure they are servicing themselves. So they are fully aware. They have been trained now by Mount Sinai. We're very pleased with that, as well as the Institute as well. So we're very pleased with that.
Lenny, being in your position, you see a lot of kids come through the program. Many of the kids we see here today probably started in Muni football. Kids that are watching our program are going to be coming possibly to your program. What advice would you give them to prepare coming into a high school?
I would say look at O.J. McDuffie. I say look at Desmond Howard, the Heisman Trophy winner, came out of the city of Cleveland, went on to the University of Michigan, played Muni football. Mike St. Clair, Charles Oakley, all came out of our program, did extremely well. And I would say one is to make sure they stay in their books. One of the most important things, we look at SAT scores, ACT scores, but also the proficiency test. That's important to us. Making sure they pass their classes, go to school every day, keep themselves physically sound, but also stay away from drugs. And that's the most important thing I would say to young people. Stay in their books, work hard, listen to their coaches, listen to their parents, stay off drugs, and I think this program will be enhancing for them.
Final question from the president. Many of the people that volunteer in the Muni Football League are coaches, whether it's the cheerleaders, whether it's the teams. You've dealt with coaches your whole career. What is it that you would tell them to be excellent coaches, and what do you look for in a coach?
I would say one, to be dedicated to what you're doing. Work hard with your young people. Don't yell at kids. This is a learning process. I think they need to learn one. Teach them the mechanics, teach them what life is all about, because all of them are not going to make it to the pros. Let's realize that the pros is a very integral part of the system, but very many young people, the colleges that are there, that's going to make it to the pros. So I would say work hard, do what's expected of them, and I would say also to the coaches, life is like a game of chances. Make sure you work hard to make sure the chances are there for the kids to succeed, and I think our program will be very successful.
Lenny, thank you for the effort and the leadership that you put into the Muni football program. You are correct. It really is all about kids.
Tim, I just want to salute you because you have done an excellent job in bringing this program where it is with you and helping Joe Wise and all the coaches out there. All the coaches as well as the parents, the cheerleaders have really come along and really enhanced the program. They are our future. We must remember that the kids are our future. It's all about kids. Thank you very much. Thanks.
Well, we've heard from everybody around the league, and now it's time. Everybody looking, it's the Peewee Championship coming up first, where the Glenville A's will take on the Desmond Howard Saints, followed up with the bantamweight, the heavyweights, 13 and 14 years old, where the Glenville A's will come back again for a repeat performance against Pal number 6, where they squared off 2 years ago for the Peewee Championship. Stay with us, because now it's Muni Football Championship time.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Lakewood Stadium. Tim Wells along with yours truly, Chris Ortez, and we're here for the Peewee Championship game today between the Glenville A's and the Desmond Howard Saints. Tim, we have two very good ball clubs here today. They both come in at 6-1. You might want to talk about some of the key players and some keys to the game today.
Well, first of all, when you look at the Desmond Howard Saints, they believe, first of all, that they have to keep this game in the middle of the field, that they have a power runner and a guy named Brandon Watkins. He's got to play big tonight for them to win. They're going to try to keep the ball in the middle of the field. We're here at Lakewood High School Field, Chris. As you know, the artificial turf is going to probably favor the Glenville A's. I think Glenville A's is a little bit quicker. The other key is that he said, listen, we need to stop the running game of the Glenville A's. That's going to be a big chore. They're going to have to play great defense, and they've got to stop the run. And also they felt that they need to limit their mistakes and penalties. I don't see that being a big issue, but the coach said, listen, if we do that, we're going to win. I think the whole key is whoever plays the best defense is the team that's going to win here tonight.
Talk to me about this kid, Antonio Reed. I've heard a lot about him. You saw him play during the entire year. Number 5, he'll be wearing number 5 in the white and blue of the Glenville A's. Tremendous running back.
Well, when you really look at the Glenville A's, he is a load. When we go back and look at some of the players who played in the NFL, you might remember a guy that played for the Houston Oilers by the name of Earl Campbell. This kid, number 5, Antonio Reed, he'll run through you, he'll run away from you, and he's got quickness, speed, and power. And, Chris, he is a load to stop. And on the other side, the halfback that's next to him, Tremaine Ziegler, number 29, quick. They've got two guys back there that can dominate a game. I really think this is a very simple answer here. If the Desmond Howard team can stop the running game of the Glenville A's, they have a chance to win. But if not, Glenville A's wins this game easily because they can run the football. And also, Chris, they come in here playing great defense.
Final point, Tim. Sentiment towards Klay Thompson. This is a guy who's been in championship game a few times, has never won one. The sentiment around the ballpark here this afternoon is they'd like to see Klay win one.
And truthfully, Chris, he has been a commitment to this Muni football program. He spent a lot of time, and it's kind of unique because we're going to see him in both games tonight, but he starts out here in the Peewee game. He's been here before. In 1994, he brought a team in here and lost. He's been in the league as a player, played 7 years in the league. This might be the Cinderella season where they can walk away with a championship.
Okay, there you have it. You have the keys to the game. The Glenville A's against the Desmond Howard Saints. That'll be for the Peewee Championship game. Now let's take a look at the road to the championship for both of these ball clubs.
It's Muni Football Championship time, and it's the Eastern Conference champions, the Glenville A's. Coach, tell us about your football team.
Hard workers, class, character, all of the good qualities that you try to promote is what this bunch has.
Coach, when you look at this team, 2 shutouts in the playoffs, going for the city championship next week. Offense, defense, what's really the strength of this team, or really is it both sides?
Oh, it's both sides. Their time has come. They've been preparing for this for a number of years, and they can't be denied.
Are they going to go all the way, Coach?
They won't be denied.
They will not be denied. We've got it from the head coach of the Glenville A's, Eastern Conference. We're now going to go over to their opponent from the Western Conference. With the Western Conference champions, the Desmond Howard Saints, and their head coach, Charles Matthew. Coach, got to be feeling pretty good right now.
Yeah, I feel real good. I feel proud of my boys. I feel proud of our organization, and we where we need to be. We #1, baby.
2 playoff victories, 12-0, 18-0, 2 shutouts. Is it the defense that's going to take you to the city championship?
Our defense, baby, that's what it is. It's our defense.
Hey, stay with us because now it's time to rumble!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the main event.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to beautiful Lakewood High Stadium as today the Cleveland Muni Football Association presents their 1996 championships. Our first game in the Peewee division has the American Conference champions, the Glenville A's, against the National Conference champion, Desmond Howard Saints. And now for the introduction. First, the Glenville A's. Number 1, Antoine Watson. Number 2, Antonio Watson. Number 5, Antonio Reed. Number 7, Mario Ayers. Number 10, Troy Smith. Number 12, Charles Grady. Number 21, Lee Scott Jr. Number 29, Tremaine Ziegler. Number 32, Carl Davis Jr. Number 37, Clayton Buggs. Number 40, Archie Johnson. Number 47, Stephen Moore. Number 50, Ernest Bates Jr. Number 55, LaDarion Williams. Number 56, Gene Davis. Number 57, Dwight Walker. Number 62, Larry Morris. Number 64, Chris Nunn. Number 70, Edward Webster. Number 74, William Slaughter. Number 77, Silvestro Payne. Number 80, Antonio Cooperwood. Number 84, Dorje Bishop. Number 88, Christopher Holtz. Number 90, Stephen Butler. And number 95, Raphael Robinson. The Glenville A's are coached by head coach Clay Thompson and his assistants. And now, the National Conference champion, Desmond Howard Saints. Number 00, Darrell Bryant. Number 1, Darius Hiley. Number 2, Dewan McKnight. Number 4, Daniel Cottingham. Number 5, Nathaniel Early. Number 10, Leonard Brown. Number 21, Jamil Hughes. Number 22, Jonathan Hughes. Number 25, Douglas Alford. Number 26, Calvin Kelly. Number 28, Alvin Brown. Number 33, Rayshawn Clements. Number 34, Brandon Watkins. Number 38, Virgil Bobo III. Number 42, Rayshawn Kaiser. Number 50, Lawrence McKissick III. Number 52, Sharmon Adams. Number 55, Keith Waldron. Number 56, Burnell Cole. Number 65, Christopher Shoulder. Number 66, Brandon Sims. Number 88, Brian Stokes. And number 99, Brandon Kaiser. The Desmond Howard Saints are coached by head coach Charles Matthews and his assistants. And now, ladies and gentlemen, direct your attention to the center of the field, where we have the presentation of the colors by the Cleveland Police Guard.
They're gonna come like right. They're gonna line up right here.
And now may we all rise, please, for the singing of our national anthem by Mr. Robert W. Becker.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Well, there we have it, Chris. Robert Becker and the Cleveland Police Color Guard starting off our championship here of the Muni Football League, where we'll have in white the Glenville A's, the American Conference champions, against the National Conference in orange, the Desmond Howard Saints. Chris?
We're here at beautiful Lakewood Stadium, the 1996 Muni Football Championships. As Tim said, the Glenville A's, they'll be in the white with the blue trim, and the Desmond Howard Saints with the orange tops and the green and white helmets, and they got a little orange in there also. They are named after the former Michigan Heisman Trophy winner, the team that is not going to the Rose Bowl this year, and that will be Ohio State, and we expect a very good game, Tim. Tim, we have a chance right now. You know both of these guys. Let's talk a little bit about the coaches. Let's talk about the Glenville A's. They were 6-1 this year under Coach Clay Thompson. Tell us a little bit about him.
Well, Clay's been around the league. He started out as a youngster in the league, where he actually played for his father, King Thompson, for 7 years. He's also been in championship game, but never came away with the city championship as a coach. In fact, Chris, this is like a rematch, as we talked in the Keys before the game. Both these teams were here 2 years ago, and this is now a returning time for them. Clay Thompson has a strong philosophy with this team, and that is, number one, that they are not going to be determined, that this team plays well together, and his philosophy has always been, I want to teach them more about life than football. Football is one way of doing it, getting an education. On the other side, Charles Matthews has been here before. He's been 10 years in the league as a coach. He was the offensive coordinator when St. Tim's won it back in '89. He'll call his plays just like Clay Thompson. Both these coaches will run their own offenses. They'll have help on the defensive side. His philosophy is, look, we're going to respect each other. God and education come before football, and he wants to be remembered as somebody that was honest and fair with him.
All right, we're about ready to go here at Lakewood Stadium. Beautiful facility, and we have first down. We'll go over the rules as the game goes on. It'll be Desmond Howard on offense first. We'll line it up for you. First down play. Here's a handoff right up the middle, up to the 40, 45, 50. That's a 10-yard pickup. That was number 34 for the Desmond Howard Saints. Brandon Watkins with a 10-yard pickup.
Again, Chris, the coach had told us before the game from Desmond Howard, he wants to keep the game in the middle of the fields between the two hashes. This is the first play where you see the free safety, Tremaine Ziegler, coming up to make the tackle, and that could be a sign of a long day for the Glenville A's.
They gave him 9 on the pickup. It'll be second down and 1. Quarterback, Darius Haley. Here's a handoff off right tackle. Takes it up to the 50-yard line. That'll be a first down. First and 10. They're going to mark it at the 49-yard line of the Glenville A's.
The Again, Chris, we mentioned about the rules. It'll be 7-minute quarters, just like regulation football. If we do get into the overtime situation, and both these teams coming in here on shutouts in the playoffs do have strong defenses, and they're going to rely on them today.
Desmond Howard with Hiley at quarterback, Watkins and Bryant in the backfield, Kelly and Hughes at the wideouts. Handoff, off right tackle, gets about 3 yards, maybe 2.
Chris, that's the first time we saw the Desmond Howards try to run wide. And I really think that Coach Matthews truly believes that when he matches up inside that front line of the Desmond Howard Saints, he feels he can run at him. When he runs away from him, he doesn't have the speed that they have.
2nd down and 9. Fumble the snap. Hiley picks it up, gets good yardage on the play, picked up about 4 or 5. We're going to have 3rd and short. Ball sitting at about the 43-yard line. As always, the offensive line, a big part of any offense. Left to right for Desmond Howard. Brandon Sims, Virgil Bobo, Kaiser, McKissick, Coyle, and McKnight. 3rd and 3. 4:58 to go, first quarter. Got a slot on the right. Hiley with the reverse. Back it up, back at the 47. Might be dropped for a loss. And he is dropped for a loss. That was number 2.
Go ahead.
Chris, we talked about running directly at him. When they run away from him, they get in trouble. You'll see here on the replay, this time, Desmond Howard decides that they're going to run away from the Glenville A's. The Glenville A's are too fast. You'll see here, number 00 misses the block, and it's number 2 that comes up to slow him up. And look at the pursuit. Antonio Reed comes up and he holds on. Again, that's a guy that we know that he can run the football, but we saw right there his ability to play defense. And when you see that Desmond Howard starts running wide, that's not the game plan. They want to run right at him between the tackles and make some yardage. And now they're in a 4th down, and about 4 yards to go, Chris, they've got to look to run inside.
Jawan McKnight on the end around, a 5'3", 122-pounder.
We got to hold him. We got to hold him. All right.
And we're going to have a 4th down and about 3. The ball sitting at the 43-yard line.
Let's go. Let's go.
So he actually got it back to the line of scrimmage. As you said, Tim, both of these teams during the playoffs were pitching shutouts. Desmond Howard combined score of 42-0. And the other side, the Glenville A's, you consider a team very good defensively, 89-0 combined score in the playoffs. So we have 2 very good defensive ball clubs here today.
And we just heard Clay tell his team at the timeout, watch the dive. He knows they're going to try to run right at him. Let's see what happens.
Hiley brings him up, and he calls timeout. Didn't like what he saw. So the Desmond Howard Saints will take a timeout here. With 4 minutes and 22 seconds left to play in the first quarter, no score. We're just getting started at a beautiful facility here on the corner of Madison and Bunce, Lakewood Stadium. Tim, I'm not sure. I think it was redone, what, a couple years ago?
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what was done. And truthfully, Chris, we've always believed our philosophy is to stay inside the city, but Mother Nature's kind of forced our hand this year. But listen, a lot of the people that are watching have probably been around Muni football, and today, through the telecast, we're going to be throwing some trivia questions out to the public. We're going to start out for the ones that have been around the years. Let's go back. How far and how long has the Muni Football League been in existence? And shortly in the next few plays, we'll come up with an answer. Think about it. How many years has Muni football been in existence in the city of Cleveland?
All right, 4th down and 3. Hiley. Hand up the middle. It's going to be close. It's going to be very close. It all depends on the spot. And that was that's 00, Darrell Bryant.
We got a hit. We got a wrap.
Here to Coach Owen, we got a hit, we got a wrap. This is the first time that we've called the defensive lineman Sylvester Payne, number 77, that came up with the tackle. You're looking right here at 00, Darrell Bryant from the Desmond Howard Saints.
And he picked up the first down, Tim. He got it. So it'll be 1st and 10 at the 40 of the Glenville A's. Got a man in the slot on the right. Hiley is going to throw it. There's a slant. And it's complete down to the 29-yard line. That was number 21, Jamel Hughes, with the reception. And I believe that's going to be second and short. So we're going to look at it again.
Well, we saw that they have the ability to run inside. This is the time. Well, can he throw the football? A nice pass here. Sweet spiral and a great catch by number 21 across the middle and a first down. Great going, Jamil. Two-handed catch, looked it in.
Jamel split way out to the right. Got a first down and 10 at the 29. Hiley, here's with the pitch. Round right in. Gets a block. Out of bounds at about the 24. And that was Brandon Watkins with the carry. 3:21 to play, first quarter, no score here at Lakewood Stadium. The Glenville A's and the Desmond Howard Saints for the Peewee Championship.
Here we're looking at Brandon Watkins, 10th leading scorer in the league this year. He scored 27 points, 4 of them for touchdowns. Coach actually believes he could be one of the strongest fullbacks in the league.
Pickup of 2 by Watkins. It'll be second down and 8. They're in the T in the backfield. 2 receivers split out. Here's the handoff inside. Nothing much there. Takes it down to the 25-yard line. That was Darryl Bryant, 5'1", 120-pounder. Clock running, 3:08 to play, first quarter.
Number 10, Troy Smith, the left linebacker that came in and filled the gap, shut down the run. And Coach Clay Thompson talked about hit and wrap. Did a nice job, Troy.
So it'll be third and long, third down and 6. Got a man on the right, man in the slot on the right. They're in the eye. Here's the handoff right up the middle. I don't think he's going to get it. That was Darryl Bryant. Pickup of about 2. It'll be fourth. We'll call it a long 3.
You can see, Chris, they're starting to settle in. That defense is toughening up. It was Ralphio Robinson, number 95, making the tackle. And a 7th grader out of Patrick Henry Middle School.
Pickup of about 1. We're going to call it 4th and 4. Back to throw is Hiley. He's got time. He's got a man down the sideline, and he overthrew him. Hiley trying to hit number 26, Calvin Kelly, the 5'5", 105-pound flanker. So the
Well, Chris, we saw him hit the slant. This time he's going to try to throw the ball actually 25 yards in the air. You'll see the quarterback under center here. You can see he takes the 7-step drop, and he's looking for the big play. This time he actually beats the defense, but again, he threw it to the middle of the field. If he throws it outside, it's 6 points for the Desmond Howard Saints. Darius Hiley threw 4 touchdown passes, 2 of them in the playoffs for the Desmond Howard team. So he has the ability to hit the big play.
Glenville A's on offense for the first time with 2:07 to play, first quarter. Troy Smith at quarterback, number 10. Tremaine Ziegler and Antonio Reed in the backfield. And we got movement. Call it encroachment, Tim, on the defense.
5 yards, first down.
Well, we see they called encroachment. We'll see it right here. Again, good call. You can see that the defense came first. Again, they'll learn as they go on to keep their eye on the football. They want to move on the football, not on the sound.
First down and 5. Handoff up the middle. Breaks a tackle at the line of scrimmage. Picks up about 1 or 2. That was number 29, Tremaine Ziegler. 5'6", 117-pounder. 1:54 clock running, first quarter, no score. Here at Lakewood Stadium, the Peewee Championship game.
Chris, you see that Desmond Howard, they got like 8 men up on the line. They're daring him to throw the football. They're going to put pressure on him. You can see right here, you look at, they've got the 5 down linemen and they've got the 3 linebackers right up in the gaps.
Here's Smith, handoff. That's number 29, breaks a couple of tackles. That was Ziegler again. Smith. He's got George Bishop, number 84 at 1 wide out, along with Antonio Watson, number 2. And the offensive line is Raphael Robinson, Larry Morris, Ernest Bates, Gene Davis, Sylvester Payne, and Reggie Davis left to right. Tackle to tackle.
You can see why these teams threw shutouts. The quarterback, Jonathan Thompson, did a nice job. He turned the play in and picked up help from the left defensive end, DeJuan McKnight, for the tackle on the last play.
3rd and short, 3rd and 1. He's got the first down. And then push back. But I believe he got the first down. That looked like Ziegler again. So the Glenville A's with their first down of the game. Clock running, 43 seconds to play, first quarter. On a beautiful day for football, a little cloudy, but this is the kind of weather the players like to play in. You can run all day in this. 1st and 10. High backfield. We got movement in the line. Looks like number 95, Tim. Rafael Robinson.
Start. Offense. 5 yards, same down.
And you know, Chris, for both teams, it's outstanding. We've had just a couple plays where penalties have been involved and jumping off sides. A lot of these teams probably haven't had a chance to do their routine practice just because of Mother Nature within the last week or so here in Cleveland.
We got 2nd down and 15. Here's the handoff, and he slips down, and he's going to be thrown for a loss. That was number 29, Ziegler again. That should be the last play of the first quarter. That was the final play of the first quarter. We got no score.
Well, you know, Chris, we were talking about the Peewees, but really there's another division that played for the championship just recently in the midget division, 8 to 10 years old. You're going to look at the mud and the rain and the slush. It's like typical football weather, a lot of crunch, a lot of defense. Right here in the red, it's Pal 6 going against the East Cleveland Chiefs. Oh, did we all love to play in the mud? Look at the solid defense here by both teams. The East Cleveland Chiefs playing their hearts out for the midget championship. Just 2 weeks ago, we were talking rain then, but now we've been hit with snow, and this is the play that turned it around. Pal 6, number 7, Michael Bell. He goes around in, and he's going to go 30 yards and a touchdown where Pal 6 wins the midget championship by a score of 7-0 over East Cleveland Pal. That was for the Midget League Championship just 1 week ago, and today we're at Lakewood Stadium where we've been barraged with over 14 inches of snow, where we're cleared the field, and we're here for the Peewee title.
Well, it sounded like my partner was more excited than the quarterback who scored the touchdown.
I'll tell you, these scripts they give us, Chris.
My God.
But truthfully, Chris, we talked about trivia. How long is the Muni football? Well, the official word from Commissioner Cox and the league director, Nate Mumphrey and Joe Wise, 77 years. Muni football is probably one of the longest of tenure of any tackle football in the country.
Back to live action, 3rd and 16. Play off tackle, off left tackle, up to about the 34-yard line. That was Ziegler with the carry. We've got no score here for the Peewee Championship. Desmond Howard and the Glenville A's. And Tim, you can see on that replay we showed in the midget game, we got a replay on this one here.
Well, this time you're going to see the Glenville A's actually look to run outside, and I think Clay feels that he can run outside. You can see here a nice block by Steven Sanders, and he picks up 7 yards on the play. Great run by Tremaine Ziegler, number 29.
Glenville's calling a timeout. Troy Smith, quarterback, is going to go over and talk to his head coach, Mr. Clay Thompson. 6:22 to play, second quarter. And we have no score here at Lakewood Stadium.
Well, Clay's got to be feeling pretty good right now, because he had told us, look, all we need to do is establish good field position and establish the running game. We haven't got the stats yet, but it seems like they've been able to move the ball on the ground. But let me tell you, Chris, we haven't seen it yet, but this number 10, Troy Smith, the quarterback, can throw the football. He can scramble and he can throw. and he's also hit some big plays in the playoffs for the Glenville A's.
Okay, we're back. 4th down, 11. Ball sitting at the 34-yard line. And it looks like they're going to punt it away. Smith, and he's going to have to run with it. Gets around right in, and he's going to be dropped. And he lost 2 yards. Dropped at about the 32-yard line. So Desmond Howard would take over on offense. We may have had a mistake, Tim. Yeah, that was 4th down, 4th and 11.
Well, I think he's making a statement. It looks like they're set up actually in a punt formation, but it seems like at this point, you see where he came right through the middle there. Somebody missed the block, and it prevented the Glenville A's from actually punting the football. And again, you can see here, this might be the first mistake, and special teams could play a role with both of these teams since they have outstanding defenses.
Desmond Howard back on offense, 1st and 10. Handoff right up the middle. Pickup of about 2. And looked like Darryl Bryant with the carry. It'll be 2nd down and 8. 5:55 to play in the first half. Bryant and Watkins in the backfield.
See the moms and dads coming out, cheering their kids on.
And Watkins.
Okay, Chris, who's it on?
That's Brandon Watkins, number 34.
Find out here from Mel Galloway.
We have motion on the offense. 1st and 15.
Actually, we'll have 2nd down. It'll be close to 15 yards. Hiley with the handoff up the middle. That's Bryant. He gets about 2 or 3 back. It's going to be 3rd and long. 5:20 to play in the second quarter. We have no score for the Peewee Championship. Desmond Howard in the orange tops and the Glenville A's in the white with the blue trim. 3rd and 11. He's got a receiver split to each side. T in the backfield. Hiley back to throw. It's being rushed. A lot of pressure. Flings it up. He's got a man. Tim, he had 4 guys on top of him when he threw that football.
He had a screen play, Chris. They just let it come through too quick. It had to be. I mean, there was all 4 guys were right on top of him within seconds. You see him. You see number 34 came out here in the flat. He stopped running, and truthfully, you look at it right here, you can see that the linemen basically were coming over, and they just let him get by him. It looked like they were trying to call a screen, but they didn't sustain their block long enough. And actually, he overthrows number 34.
4th down 11. Man in slot on the right. We got a flea flicker. That's Bryant. He wanted to throw it. Couldn't find a man open. And the Glenville A's will go back on offense.
I'll tell you, that defense of the Glenville A's, it was number 77, the left tackle, Sylvester Payne, with his pursuit. You're going to see right here where you see number 70 with the rush, number 95 Robinson, but Sylvester Payne comes up with the big tackle and the wrap for a sack. Chris, we looked at the rushing yards going into this quarter. Desmond Howard, 38 yards. The Glenville A's, only 9.
Well, that offensive series, the Saints got a little cute there, and it cost them. Their first offensive series, they were running the ball pretty effectively. They got a little too cute on that one. Glenville back on offense. 1st and 10. Oh, nothing there. Still trying to get away. That's number 5, Antonio Reed. He got hit right at the line of scrimmage. Probably squeezed a yard out of it.
Elvin Brown, left linebacker. There he is, Antonio Reed. 7th grader for Margaret Spellacy. Perfect attendance in his school. 9th leading scorer of the league. He had 7 touchdowns during the regular season, and folks, he stepped it up in the playoffs with 9 touchdowns for Desmond Howard.
He actually lost a yard. It'll be 2nd down and 11. 4:02 to play, 2nd quarter. And we got a whistle. I didn't catch that one, Tim. Delay of game?
Delay of game.
That'll make it 2nd down, 16. Smith back to throw. It's being rushed. He gets away, throws, and it's batted away by number 26 of the Saints. That was Calvin Kelly, the safety, the 5'5", 105-pounder. Almost had an interception. He had his hand on it.
Well, you take a look at it here. One of the things that Clay Thompson told us was that his quarterback kind of had a sense in the field in the pocket. You see, this time he avoids the sack, steps up, but he actually throws into coverage. And that time the ball could have been intercepted. Tried to force it to Sanders, and that's something we need to keep an eye on.
3rd and 16. Smith, round left end, 30, 35, needs a block. He trips. Down at about the 37-yard line. That was Antonio Reed. He needed 1 block. He could have broke that one big.
Chris, I don't know if you have it on replay, but the man was out there. He needed the 1 block, picks up yardage. You'll see it right here. You come out, and right here, it's number 94. He doesn't sustain the block. He hits him and then lets up. It actually looks like 84. I'll make sure we get the right number here. Number 84, Dorje Bishop. And again, as he goes on and plays more, the coach can say, stay with the block.
It's going to make it 4th down and 10 that we have another flag.
The ball was set to play. He came onto the field, across the neutral zone. Kills the play immediately.
The guy you were just talking about, Tim, Mr. Bishop. Ball was set, they were ready to go, and the official says that he came on the field after the ball was set down.
Causing it offsides.
It's going to be 4th and long. Here's the handoff, nothing there. That's number 29, still running. Tremaine Ziegler had nothing.
Chris, it was Brandon Watkins, number 34. Here's a guy that you talk about on the field. He makes a big play here, but he's also, we talked about the school part. Now, you're going to see right here his athletic ability. He comes like a man on a mission here. You can see he stays with him, grabs a hold. There's the wrap and the sack for the Desmond Howard team by Brandon Watkins. Also, Chris, we want to make some points here. This kid is also president of his student council at school, and he's been honored for academic excellence. Now, when you put those together, Chris, you have to have academic, we know that from our days at school. Hey, this is the total package.
Back to live action, still running with the football. That's Hiley, he may score. Touchdown. Darius Hiley with a tremendous run around left end. I think he broke about 4 tackles on the way to the end zone. So the Desmond Howard Saints jump on top, 6-0. Tremendous run around left end. We're going to watch it again, Tim.
Well, you can see here he's going to go out to the outside. You have 1 missed tackle. Right now he puts his shoulder down. Wham! Right through him, Chris. And you see here, second one, avoided a tackle, missed tackle here, and nothing but 6 points and the lead for the Desmond Howard Saints on the running of Darius Hiley.
So the Saints jump on top, 6-0. They'll try for the extra, and I think he got in, and he did. So the Saints jump on top, 7-0. Tim, you might want to explain on the extra point how they work it in this league.
Okay, and our rules, Chris, are basically just the opposite that we're familiar with. If they run it in or pass it in, it'll be worth 1 point. If they kick it in, it'll be worth 2. Usually we'll see some of that sometimes in the bantamweight division, although this year I don't think we've seen too many people actually kicking the ball through the uprights. Again, you're looking at the Glenville A's and the Desmond Howard Saints, the Peewee Championship. where Desmond Howard on the legs and the heart of Darius Holly have taken the lead 7-0 here in the second quarter over the Glenville A's.
And there's 2 minutes and 48 seconds left to play in the first half, and the Saints, they jump on top 7-0. Troy Smith brings them up. They're in the tee. Big hole up the middle, and it closed real quick. That was number 5, Antonio Reed. Picks up about 4 yards. It'll be 2nd down and 6. The hole was there, but it closed up about as fast as it opened. Reed still got 4 yards on the carry. 2nd down and 6, ball on the 39-yard line. We got an I backfield. Handoff, second man through, 40, down at the 42-yard line. Tremaine Ziegler with the carry.
You hear the coach telling him where to run. He actually had the hole and tried to cut back to the middle. Again, the more that he runs, you'll see it right here. You can see to the outside, and then he stops and cuts back, and actually cut back into trouble, and the coach, I'm sure, was telling him, run to the outside, run to the 8-hole.
3rd down and 3. Ball at the 42, handoff. 45, 50, out of bounds at the 48-yard line. That was Antonio Reed. That was a big hole on the left side there. And that's Larry Morris and Raphael Robinson on that side.
Chris able to run off tackle, and you can see it right here. There's Robinson with a nice block inside. This time, give Bourget credit. He turns this man inside and makes a nice block where they can pick up another 5 yards.
1st and 10 at the 48. 45, 40, down to the 38-yard line. That's Tremaine Ziegler. Did you watch his running style, Tim? He wears number 29. Reminds you of a guy that wore number 29 in the National Football League, Mr. Eric Dickerson. He's got that long gait.
Chris, while we're at timeout, let's throw another trivia question to our viewers. 2 football players that played here in the Muni Football League have changed their professional careers and are currently now playing in the NBA. What 2 players that are currently playing in the NBA played in the Muni football program? We'll have that answer for you right around halftime. 2 players that played in the league now are currently professional basketball players in the NBA.
Get Troy some time to throw the ball.
Let's go right from the line.
There you hear Coach Clay Thompson. You got to be pretty pleased with this offensive series. This offensive line starting to open up some holes. Ziegler and Antonio Reed, they haven't been really touched until they get into the secondary, and that's what you want as a head coach. 1st down and 10, ball sitting at the 38-yard line. They're in the eye again. That's Ziegler, 40, 35, 30, 27-yard line. Nothing fancy here, Tim. It's just power football.
Chris, the series before this, they had a negative 6 yards. This series right now, they've picked up close to 35 yards running behind Robinson with the lead blocker, number 5, Antonio Reed. You're going to see him right here. Antonio Reed turns him inside. Bishop this time blocks him to the outside. Ziegler follows the hole.
1st and 10. That's Reed. 30, 26-yard line. He got maybe 3 or 4 on that one. Clock running, 1:09 to play. And you know Glenville wants to get a score right before the half. 2nd down and 8. The ball sitting at the 26-yard line. Nothing fancy here. They're just running it right up the gut. They're in the eye again. That's Ziegler, the tailback. And he faked to Ziegler. Smith rolling. Got a man down the sideline and knocked away. Nice play.
Again, Chris, we looked at the cornerback down there. It really did a nice job. It was number 20, looks like 21.
21, Tim.
From the Desmond Howard team. You're going to see it right here. Jamil Hughes, we called his name earlier on the offensive side. This time, you see Troy Smith rolling to his left and actually throws the ball, Chris, 35 yards in the air, rolling to his left. Tells you about the arm.
Bad snap. Here's a little screen. That's Reed. Gets away. 30. 25. Cuts it back inside. 20. 15-yard line. He's still running. And he takes it inside the 15. Beautiful run by Antonio Reed, and a great job by Troy Smith to get rid of it, Tim. He had pressure on him.
Well, Chris, they've been able to move to the right hash. They got the ball out to number 5, Antonio Reed, and he is their big play scorer for the season. Now you see they called a timeout. Let's go in the huddle and see exactly. You're looking at the replay right here where Antonio Reed gets to the outside, and you can see he actually leaves his blockers. If he stays behind his blocker, he might pick up more yardage. Cuts back across the middle, and you can see right here, from behind it was 00 and number 21, Jameel Hughes. Darius Hiley coming in to make the tackle.
Twin, you come right across the field. Yeah. Come on, Lee, come on. You do.
Okay, we heard from Coach Clay Thompson. Viewers at home are privileged to this information when we go into the huddles, but we know what the play is going to be. There he is, Clay Thompson. He's going to be a busy man tonight, Chris, because he's going to be coaching in the next game as well.
Here's the situation. We got 28 seconds left to play. First down and 10 at the 14. Smith, nice bootleg. 15, 10, 5, down to the 3-yard line, and we got a flag. Beautiful fake by Troy Smith. Clock stopped with 17 seconds left to play. Watch this, Tim, the bootleg. Troy Smith with a tremendous fake.
Oh, man, Chris. Guys in the NFL don't do this. You can see right here, he's running to the outside. Number 26, Calvin Kelly, catches him from behind.
It'll be first and goal. Ball sitting at the 3-yard line. Actually, the 2-yard line. And Glenville wants to talk about it. 17 seconds left to play. They at least want to go into halftime. All knotted up at 7.
Now for our viewers at home, on the timeouts, our league rules are 4 timeouts per game. So if he uses them all here in the first half, sayonara. Again, you can see the Glenville A's, why the coach told them, hey, they're not going to be denied. They've responded.
I don't know what the 1, 2.
Do the same thing.
Run that fake play thing out. Okay? Now run it. You get it in. Let's go.
Well, Chris, it sounds like he's put the hands of this score into their running backs. See how it turns out.
Why not, Tim? The running backs got him down here. Ball at the 1. Handoff, Reed. And he's in for the touchdown. Why not, Tim? He got him down there. Ziegler and Reed accounted for most of that drive for the Glenville A's. It is now 7-6 with 13 seconds left to play in the second quarter.
You know, I asked Clay before the game, well, tell me about Antonio Reed. Describe him. He says, you remember Earl Campbell? Strong runner with speed. Same type of runner. You saw him run inside. We saw him run outside. Right here you can see he's looking nothing but end zone, and he's going to pick up his 10th touchdown in the playoffs.
Smith with the snap. He's got a man in the corner, and he throws it out of the end zone. Falls incomplete. So with 13 seconds left to play in the second quarter, the Saints keep the lead at 7-6. Very impressive drive, Tim. As you said, the offensive series before that, they got a little cue. Right there, they just said, we're going to power football, and they took it right down the football field.
And both these teams started out, and it looked like it was going to be a defensive struggle, but it's clear now, and I'm sure that Clay Thompson's got to be feeling pretty good. They're going to go into that locker room knowing that we can run the football and we can score on this team.
Let's see if the Desmond Howard Saints will try anything with 13 seconds left. And here's the blitz up the middle. He's got a man, and nothing there. That's Watkins with the reception. And that will be the last play of the first half. There's the whistle. That is the end of the first half here at Lakewood Stadium with the score, the Desmond Howard Saints 7 and the Glenville A's 6 in the Peewee Championship game. We'll be right back.
We play every Saturday, 4-on-4, winner stays put. Our flags, they're like our uniforms. They give us identity. We may not have all kinds of fancy equipment, but we still got dreams, and we got a ball. And if you got that, you got a game. We play every Saturday, and who knows, maybe someday, we'll play every Sunday. You know what I'm saying?
When I was a kid, I had a lot of dreams, and a lot of people told me I would never achieve it. Some people even told me I was too small to play football. That was all the motivation that I needed. Today, I have 3 Super Bowl rings and a college degree, and a job that I really love. And I'm just getting started. So go on. Just tell me what I can do now. Never let go of your dreams. Just get out and play football.
Okay, welcome back to Lakewood High School Field, where it's the Peewee Championship. The Glenville A's here in white, and in the orange is the Desmond Howard Saints. And you're going to see right here, 00, Darius Hiley, where you're going to see he puts his head down and he looks nothing but end zone, where the Desmond Howard Saints go out in front and hold on to a 7-6 lead here to start the second half. And Chris, when we look at the first halftime stats, what do they look like?
Well, the Glenville A's dominated offensive plays 32-17, but it was pretty much an even half, Tim, as the score would indicate. The only difference really in the game is really the penalties. The Desmond Howard Saints had 3 for 11 yards, and it kind of hurt them a little bit as they had that one drive right before the touchdown drive, kind of killed them there. We're about ready to play the second half. We got a 7-6 score. The Saints up on top of the Glenville A's. Both teams come in with 6-1 records, and the Saints in the orange tops. The Glenville A's will go on offense first. That's Reed, and he's going to get maybe dropped for about a 1-yard loss. Antonio Reed and Tremaine Ziegler.
And again, it was tackled by Leonard Brown and Darius Hiley. And the middle linebacker showed his ability to come across. You'll see it here on the replay. The Glenville A's were running outside, and again, this time it's Antonio Reed that comes to the outside. But you can see here Jamil Hughes as well as Mr. Leonard Brown come up and make a nice tackle.
Well, they say he got it back to the line of scrimmage. It'll be 2nd down and 10. Ziegler up the middle. He gets 4 up to the 40, actually the 39-yard line. 3rd down, and they gave him 5. It'll be 3rd down and 5. Ball sitting at the 40-yard line.
There he is, Tremaine Ziegler, an 8th grader from Kirk Middle School. Scored 3 touchdowns during the year and another 3 in the playoffs.
3rd down, 5. Ball at the 40. Got a man split out to the right. Troy Smith at quarterback. And we have movement.
False start. Defense. 1st and 10.
There you hear the call. It's encroachment on the defense. And that will give Glenville a first down the easy way. 1st down and 10, the ball at the 45. 6:10 to play. And that was Brandon Watkins.
False start. Defense. 1st and 5.
Well, we had an instant replay there without even running the camera work, Tim.
Yeah, the linemen hate that, Chris, when they make the mistake. Oh, don't call my name. But it was McKissick and then Watkins. You can see they're determined. They're fired up here in the second half.
So it'll be 1st and 5. Reed around the corner, 50. 45 still running. Out of bounds at the 41-yard line. That's a good-looking running back, Antonio Reed. He's only 5'1", 123 pounds, but Tim, you said his coach compared him to Earl Campbell. When he hits the hole, he comes in there with some power.
Well, the coach said, well, he can run over you or run away from you. This time he comes into your living room, as you can see. He gets to the outside, he breaks a tackle here. This time he gets knocked out of bounds by number 1, Darius Hiley.
That's a first down, 1st and 10 at the 41. Glenville trying to take the lead. Here's a handoff, Ziegler up the middle, 40, still running. And he takes it down to the 37-yard line. Tremaine Ziegler. Ziegler.
Sustained drive here, Chris. They picked up right where they left off. This time they're going to run it inside. And you can see Ziegler here, 1 missed tackle. This time it's number 21, Jamil Hughes, and number 1, Darius Hiley, the middle linebacker, coming up with the stop.
2nd down and 6. They stay at Antonio Reed, nothing this time. He may have lost a yard. And there to make the tackle was number 21, Jamil Hughes.
You've been calling his name quite a bit. Cornerback over here on the right side, Jamil Hughes, making some big plays. Honor roll, student, citizenship. See a little officials timeout here. You know, Chris, we gave a trivia question prior to the half. What 2 players that played in Muni football now have changed their careers to professional basketball? And Chris, have you come up with the answer?
I know one of them, Tim. The Oak Man over with the New York Knicks, Charles Oakley's one. I have no idea who the other one is.
The other one is a young man that played over at Cadell Recreation by the name of Gary Grant.
Gary Grant, Kent McKinley, right?
Yeah. Played here in the Muni Football League.
3rd down and 6. Ziegler around right end, 40. Breaks outside. Nice tackle. That was number 22 for the Saints.
Jonathan Thompson. I'll tell you what, these kids are out here and they're hitting people.
Well, I'll tell you what, Tim. I can imagine what he was thinking watching that young man come at him.
Well, we'll take a look at it right here. You can see Ziegler get to the outside, but you can see right here, they come up, wham. Nice play by number 22, Jonathan Thompson.
4th down and 5, ball at the 36. Oh my.
Encroachment. Defense.
I asked Clay about Jonathan. I said, well, tell me. I says, he can tackle. You can see right there in that previous play, he came up and made a nice tackle.
Well, Tim, they list him at 4'10" and 82 pounds, and that's probably soaking wet. And he took out a 117-pounder, and Ziegler, he did an excellent job. Smart kid because he went down low. He didn't try to take him on high. That's a 1st down and 10 on the encroachment penalty. Now Glenville in the T backfield. Smith, handoff up the middle. Why not? Ziegler. He takes it down to the 24-yard line. That's 7 yards on that one.
Well, we got a penalty on the play here, Chris. This won't be one of those minor ones of offsides. Let's see exactly what they're going to call.
We have a face mask against the defense. 15 yards.
You called it, Tim. That's a big one.
Well, we'll take a look at it at home. We see if we can pick it up right here. And again, Chris, from our angle, we're not able to pick it up. But again, you can see Tom Garreau definitely is looking right at
it. Water time.
Darius Hiley came up, made the tackle.
You know, Tim, we talked in our pregame. Clay Thompson made the comment. He said that his team would not be denied. In fact, in our pregame prep, we had it in quotations. I mean, he said this team will not quit. The Saints jump on top 7-0, and right now he pretty much has just told his offensive line, we just blow them off the football and let's run the ball. That's what they're doing.
And truthfully, Chris, it's really a tribute to him because, number one, he's instilled that in him. Now, we go back and look at when King Thompson had the Academics, and word has it, he had Commissioner Cox playing back then. And I asked him, I said, well, come on, you can be honest with me, King. Tell me, was the commissioner a great player or was he not? And I said, I promise I won't give him the bad news. He said, listen, he played middle linebacker and he hit people. He could play. I said, well, I'm glad to know that. Maybe next time the management plays the recreation staff, we'll win by 2 touchdowns. But truthfully, our commissioner has really been supportive of the program and the kids. Mike Cox has really been behind us through this whole ordeal. And our hats are off to him for his leadership in the recreation department.
Well, leading the way for Glenville that was Antonio Reed. He took it up, I should say took it down to the 5-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 5.
So Brandon Watkins come up and make the tackle.
Glenville on the move, up the middle, Reed again. Inside the 5, down to the 2-yard line. He gets 3 on the carry. So Glenville trying to take the lead in this ball game. They fell behind 7-0, and we may have a player injured on the field. You hate to see this. And it's Antonio Reed.
They cannot afford to lose Mr. Reed. He's been their big runner. Again, you can see the official clearing the team away from it, where the coaches will come in and handle it. You know, and why we have the timeout, Chris, we really need to take a look at the people behind the scenes that have helped. And right now, when you look at it, our hats have to go off to the Mount Sinai Center of Urban Health. As you can see right now, we've got the field men and the coaches in here with the players, but they stepped forward big time for the Muni Football League this year. First thing they did is they went out and gave training for all the coaches in first aid and CPR. They also provided each coach with a clipboard that covered basic first aid information, treating it with ice. And then you also look at they came aboard and also provided each team with first aid kits. And on top of it, all the players in the league received water bottles. So when they're coming to practice, we got their own bottles. I mean, a lot of times, people like Mount Sinai we never hear about, but here's a community group that stepped up and really made a difference. We've been able to take the Muni Football League up to another level because they've been able to provide the training and some of the materials to assist the coaches to be able to deal with situations that we saw just now.
That was the cornerback, Tim, number 22. Jonathan Thompson limped off the field. Looks like his back. He's holding his lower back. We also saw Antonio Reed. He looked like he hurt his ankle on that run. We got 1st and goal at the 1. Ziegler, and he's stuffed right at the line of scrimmage. He may have lost a yard. Running behind Rafael Robinson and Larry Morris from about the middle of the 2nd quarter on, Tim. The game plan for Glenville has been run behind that left side, and it's been very successful for him.
Chris, right now, you have to believe, right here you can see they're going to run behind the left side. And again, this time they came up, it was 0-0. Darius Hiley came up and made a big stop. And Darrell Bryant.
Antonio Reed trying to get away, and he lost about 2 more. It's going to be 3rd down and goal.
All right, Chris, you're the coach. What are we going to do here?
Tim, I don't want to be a coach.
Probably a little short one, maybe off here.
3rd down on the 5.
I still run the ball here, Tim, because you got to believe even if they don't make it now, they're going to go for it on 4th down. I'd run behind the 2 big hogs on the left side, and it's been successful for them since about the middle of the 2nd quarter. Although you said earlier on, Troy Smith could throw the football, so you could go play action here, maybe catch your tight end wide open. That's what he's going to do. He's rolling left, and he's almost throws an interception.
Tried to make something out of nothing, and he came away very, very lucky that we didn't have our first turnover. Really, Chris, when you think about it, we've been out here and playing almost 3 full quarters of play and no turnover. You'll see it this time. Troy Smith kind of pitches out and he's going to sweep, and actually this time he tries to pitch it, and you can see it was right in his hands. Right in his hands. It could have been the first turnover. And don't want to rush it.
We got 4th down and go at the 5. In the shotgun. There's a blitz. Man wide open. That's Reed at the 10. Breaks a tackle. 5. Touchdown!
It's a great call by Clay Thompson. He put the man out there that's been able to carry him all year. Got him out one-on-one. He had to beat Nate early, number 5.
That was a great run by Reed, Tim. Let's watch it again. Actually, the man was there at the 10.
See right here, he gets a little flare pass to the right, and he gets to the outside. There's Shropshire, but he missed one missed tackle. He takes on Hiley, and it's nothing but running through him and a touchdown.
On the conversion, he had a man wide open. That was number 84. George Bishop, and he dropped it. So with 1:15 to play in the 3rd quarter, the Glenville A's have a 12-7 lead over the Desmond Howard Saints for the Peewee Championship here at Lakewood High School.
Well, while we're talking about the Glenville A's, let's get some of the trivia in here, and maybe this one's a little bit easier. Everybody at home has to know this. The Glenville A's were known before as Academics. King Thompson was the coach. The question is, what city official played for the Academ team? And I'll give you a hint, Chris. He was a tough guy, but he wasn't a starter, and he talks about it today in his career. We'll have the answer for you in the 4th quarter.
Desmond Howard goes back on offense. They started at the 35. Brandon Watkins with the carry. Picks up about 2 yards. It'll be 2nd down and 8. They trail 12-7.
Silvestro Payne came up and made the tackle for the Glenville A's. Chris, when we first started the game, we talked about safeties making tackles. Now it's the defensive linemen. They're winning the line of scrimmage.
On both sides, Tim. Glenville's really come on since about halfway through the 2nd quarter. Here's Hiley around left end. That's the play he scored on. 45. Out of bounds at about the 47-yard line.
That last drive of the A's, Mr. Reed, 7 carries, 23 yards and a touchdown, and Ziegler 5 carries for 17. Take a look at it right here on the play. This time Darius Hiley goes to the outside. You can see the pursuit by Bayete Shropshire. And again, they knock him out of bounds. It's Antonio Reed. And back into that old little snow pile.
3rd down and 1. Hiley trying for the 1st down. It's going to be very, very close. It all depends where they spot it. Let's see if they give it. Yeah, they're going to give it to him. 1st down and 10 at the 45.
I love those coaches when they're close. Don't give them anything on this one. Now, wait a minute. You can hear him on the sideline. But again, 1st down.
Clock running, 23 seconds. Hiley, play action. He's got a man in the flat, and he underthrew him. He had him. That was Brandon Watkins. And Hiley knows he's got his head. He's looking at Watkins. He had him, Tim. If he completes that one, Watkins is still running.
Brandon Watkins, you take a look at it right here. He's going to actually roll away from the play, And you can see Watkins, he's got him wide open. Oh, Chris, that ball's catchable.
Yeah,
Gotta
sure
catch
is.
it. It's right in his hands.
2nd down and 10. There's a quick slant. Intercepted! Beautiful play. That was number 21. Lee Scott. So the Glenville A's go back on offense on a tremendous interception by Lee Scott. They ran that play earlier in the game, Tim. They got about 16 yards on the completion. This time Lee Scott read it. He made a tremendous diving interception.
Gave us a little bit of his own player there. Heady play by Lee Scott. And the first turnover of the ball game goes to the Glenville A's.
Glenville back on offense. Smith, handoff. Reed, 45, outside. 40. Takes it down to the 38-yard line. And that will be the final play of the 3rd quarter. So with 3 quarters in the book, the Glenville A's on top of the Desmond Howard Saints by a score of 12-7. We'll be back with 4th quarter action right after we take this quick timeout.
This little piggy went to market. This little piggy stayed home. This little piggy had roast beef. This little piggy had none. And this little piggy went all the way home.
Cleveland's new Job Mobile puts you in the driver's seat. To learn about job training and employment opportunities in Cleveland, please call 664-2466.
The NFL salutes the accomplishments of each and every student who participated in high school football this past season, and the coaches, friends, and families who supported their efforts. Because whether or not they ever step on another football field, the lessons they learned will last a lifetime. Football, it's more than a game.
All right, welcome back to Lakewood Stadium for the 4th quarter. Our score here, 12-7. The Glenville A's, they are on top of the Desmond Howard Saints, and they have the football at the 38-yard line of the Saints. 7 minutes to play in this ball game. And the big story in this game has been Antonio Reed, number 5 of the Glenville A's. Unofficially, we have 14 carries and 54 yards. He's got the tough yards for him when they really needed it. Smith, handoff. Tremaine Ziegler takes it down to the 36-yard line. Pickup of 3.
Time it was the left linebacker, number 28, Alvin Brown, came up and made the stop. And that was one time you saw where the linebackers actually came in and shot the gaps, filled the holes. Sure, they've decided we've got to come up and stop the run.
Scoreboard here at Lakewood Stadium flashing defense. And that's what the Saints need right now. Antonio Reed up 40, 30, 25. He may go. Touchdown. Antonio Reed with his 2nd touchdown of the game. A beautiful cutback at about the 25, and it was nothing but pay dirt after that. And that's going to take him close to about 100 yards rushing for the ball game.
Well, you'll see here, he goes right up the middle. Again, they shot the gaps. The middle was wide open. It was one block, and it was nothing but daylight, and this is one time he ran away from him and picks up his second touchdown today.
Glenville looking for the conversion. Here's a quick, and he got it. That's number 21. And that's, why not? That's the guy who got the interception, Lee Scott. And he scores on the conversion. There's an official timeout on the field with the score. The Glenville A's 19 and the Desmond Howard Saints 7. We're going to keep it here, Tim.
Yeah, we can do that. When we think about the many people that have helped us behind the scenes, Chris, we talked earlier about the Mount Sinai group and the commitment that they had. There's going to be, there they are, Mount Sinai Center for Urban Health. Again, our special thanks goes to Dr. Robert Haney and Ernst Winninger, the Assistant Vice President of Marketing, for their support this year in the Muni football program. And we're back to action.
Highly rolling right, got a man, and just overthrew Watkins. Glenville really fired up. Offense has put up 2 touchdowns in the last quarter and a half, and their defense, they can smell it now. They can smell the championship.
Our spotter, Rick Dietrich, told me 77's been putting some pressure on him. We'll take a look at it here. You can see here, there he is, number 77, put a lot of pressure, forced Hiley to throw it when he really didn't want to, and just overthrown.
He had his running back out there too. Watkins was open again. 2nd down and 10, ball at the 35. Saints trail 19-7. Hiley, here's the pitch, got a flea flicker. He's got a man, and it's caught. And we got a flag down. We may have pass interference. Hiley with the reception, and he's down. He looks like he's hurt.
Watch yourself. Anton Watson was on the play for defense, Chris. We're looking at Hiley down. Here comes the coaches. Again, earlier we put a trivia question out.
We have 2 penalties against the defense. One is interference, and the other dead ball, face mask.
Chris, from what we just heard from the official, on 2 penalties, one was pass interference, and then the other one was a dead ball face mask, which means basically both penalties should be enforced. So I'm sure that once the player's been attended, they'll make the decision exactly where it's at. But if they're calling it a dead ball foul, they're saying the penalty occurred after the play. So actually they're not together. They're actually multiple fouls, and the pass interference can be accepted or denied. And then also they'll penalize them for the face mask, which occurred after the play.
If it's a flagrant, Tim, you're talking 15 yards. That's exactly what the Saints need now. They need a quick score. Then they need their defense to hold and get the ball back. They trail by 12 points in this game. You're talking 2 touchdowns. And of more importance right now, they're worrying about Darius Hiley. You see him, the quarterback. And he's walking off the field. Looks like he's going to be all right. Let's see what they call here.
There he is, Darius Hiley, punter, middle linebacker, quarterback. Kind of does it all for the Saints. Well, the officials are getting together here. And we'll see exactly what they're going to do.
Remember, like I said.
Well, when you look at it, and we look for a backup quarterback, it's going to be interesting on our charts. We talked about the quarterback position. Actually, the coach, see if he gave us the guy that would quarterback if he did get in trouble. And right now, I don't see anyone on our chart, so it's going to be interesting to see who they'll put in here.
You could always stick a running back in there, Tim. He could take the snap, and he can do what he does best, and that's run with the football until Hiley gets his head together.
Looks like they're going to put Darryl Bryant, number 00.
Yeah, he's the running back, he's the tailback, and that's exactly what they're going to do. After the penalty, they have the ball at the Glenville 35-yard line. And they give it right back. That's number 26, Calvin Kelly.
We have encroachment, offense.
Drive coaches crazy.
False start, offense.
We didn't want
First
silly
and
penalties
15.
to hurt our drives. That's exactly what's happened here.
Got a first down and 15, the ball at the 40. 5:55 to play, fourth quarter, clock running. They're showing blitz, and there it is. What a play by number 95, Raphael Robinson. He's done it on both sides of the ball, Tim. He plays left tackle on offense, opening up the holes for Antonio Reed, and now he comes on the blitz. Makes an outstanding play.
Well, Coach told us he's a mature, unselfish player. You're going to see here, you talked about a guy on a mission. He knew as soon as the ball was snapped, that was his guy, and he definitely comes up and picks up a big sack for the Glenville A's, which was a 1st and 10. Now it turns out to be like 2nd and 20.
Actually, Tim, it's 2nd down and 22. The ball back at the 47. Hiley back in the game. He rolls right, got pressure, gets away, throws it long. Jump ball, incomplete. His intended receiver, Jamil Hughes.
You're getting desperate now. Where to go, defensive back now?
Number 2, Antonio Watson. You're looking at him, he played some great defense. And you can see that the Desmond Howard team has made up its mind they're going to need to score big here. And that's exactly what they're going to have to do, being down 19-7.
Situation they have now is 3rd down and 22. Tim, you try to get it all back on one player, try to maybe get half of it now and half of it on 4th down. You play coach.
I'm going for half of it right now because of the arm of Darius Hiley.
And he's going to throw it. And Hiley, here's a flip. Ball is completed and going absolutely nowhere.
So that pass rush of the Glenville A's, Chris, is not giving him any time. And when you talk, I mentioned his arm, but really it's time to throw to make that big play.
That was DeJuan McKnight with the reception.
Well, you'll see here the pressure. You talk about it. Number 70, he's coming from one side. Then they've got 3 guys. Now he misses the tackle. There's Robinson again and knocks Hiley down. And then they get up and pursue again at 77, Payne. And then it's number 1, Antoine Watson, Bayete Shepshire, number 56, and the whole host of the Glenville A's come up and make the stop. Well, Chris, we mentioned a trivia earlier about the city official that played for Academs. Come up with a name?
I have no idea, Tom.
Well, folks, it's Mayor Michael R. White. Played for the Academs. Talks about the times when he played, and it taught him about perseverance and keeping on a mission and fighting to get what he believes in. Kind of think he's taken what he's learned on a football field and actually taken it on in his career and actually led the city to its All-American status the last 5 years.
The Honorable Michael White. I don't think anybody can doubt his intensity. He's a guy that he doesn't take much from anybody.
A lot of commitment and dedication to the citizens of Cleveland.
4th down and 27. They're showing blitz. Here comes Reed. Here's a quick hitter. 50, 45, outside 40, 35, and he stepped out of bounds. Darryl Bryant. And he fell about, actually he was about 7-8 yards short of a first down anyway.
Well, here's the old unbalanced line. Everybody shifted over. You can see they're trying to run a little screenplay here. And right here you'll see a couple blocks. Give him credit. He follows his blocks. He's going to break to the outside. You're going to see Coach Clay is standing right there, and you can see steps right there on the line. Good call by the official.
The Glenville A's back on offense with a 19-7 lead. 4:17 to play, up the middle, quick hitter. Tremaine Ziegler.
Chris, I've been calling Shropshire 56. Actually, it's Gene Davis, the 7th grader of Margaret Spellis. He kind of reminds me a little bit about how Shropshire plays, and we'll get to see him in the next game here tonight.
2nd down and 9. Handoff. That's Reed. Glenville right now trying to run a little bit of that clock, and it's running. 3:40 to play.
Darius Hiley, Nate Early. This is their type of game, the Glenville A's. Strong running game, don't give it away.
Very impressive performance by their 2 running backs. 3rd down and 7, the ball at the 38. Smith, handoff, Ziegler, left tackle, 40, 35, 50, fumble! And the Saints have it. The Saints have the football. Nice run by Ziegler. Got careless with the football at about midfield. Popped out, and the Saints will get the ball at the 38-yard line.
That's exactly what the doctor ordered. Jonathan Thompson. We're going to take a look at it here. You'll see Troy Smith. He'll hand off to Ziegler, and Ziegler's going to actually cut back in the middle here. And we'll see who's going to make the hit that causes the fumble. It was number 28, Alvin Brown. It actually caused the fumble. We're back live.
First down pass, Tim, by Hiley. Try to hit his receiver down at the 30-yard line, and the receiver's still down, as you can see. Ball fell incomplete. We have an official timeout on the field.
Looking at Antonio Watson was down. Let's go back and look at the fumble. We'll see right here. There's Watkins, but actually it's number 28 that actually causes the fumble. And then right here recovering it, it looks like number 22, Jonathan Thompson, that comes up with the fumble. And the minute I say, you know, no turnovers, play fundamental football, what do? I jinx them.
Well, as a coach, Tim, you can't fault your running back. That's just from effort. You got to give the defense credit. The defensive player came up from behind, popped it out. But I don't know. I guess if Thompson was down by 12 points, he might be thinking differently. He's got a nice 12-point lead here.
See a little bit of the rain starting to move in. And we're looking at number 2, Antonio Watson, the right cornerback. 7th grader out of Margaret Spellis. Perfect attendance, honor roll, student. There he is. Also favorite team, Dallas Cowboys and Emmett Smith. He has a twin brother actually on the team, Antoine. I asked
Antonio and Antoine. Antoine wears number 1, and Antonio, they're walking him off the field right now.
And that was DeJuan McKnight, Chris, that is walking off. A 7th grader, a second New Hope. Favorite player, Jerry Rice. One of those all wide receivers always pick those quick guys, great hands.
Could pick a better one. Saints on offense, 2nd down and 10. Here's the blitz. Hiley gets away, throws it up, got a man. Almost intercepted. That was Tremaine Ziegler back there defensively. So it's going to be 3rd down and 10. And here we see it again, Tim.
Well, we'll take a look at it. This time you see there's pressure, but he rolls away from the pressure. And Chris, we're going to actually see him throw this ball almost 30 yards in the air. Rolls out, he's going to throw it. And again, number 29, Tremaine Ziegler, hey, plays like his brother. Number 29 from Ohio State, Pepe Pearson, is actually the brother to Tremaine Ziegler.
Come on, Reggie!
Hiley, incomplete. Pass intended.
Reggie Davis.
Pass was, excuse me, Tim, for DeJuan McKnight. He dropped it. It was right in his hands.
I think the only way that this guy is going to be able to throw or hit a big play, he's got to roll away from the pressure, because the Glenville A's defensive line is just teeing off. They're not even thinking right at this point.
It's a big play here, Tim. We got 4th down. Hiley's got time, and he's got a man down the right sideline, and he overthrew him. Receiver looking for a flag. And he's not going to get it. So with the score 19-7, the Glenville A's will go back on offense with a 19-7 lead with 2 minutes and 39 seconds left to play in this ball game. This is for the Peewee Championship.
There it is, Chris Hiley. You can see he's shown the ability to throw deep. And again, it was Tremaine Ziegler as well as Antonio Watson back for the defense.
Tim, you want to take a wild guess? I wonder what they're going to do here offensively. Mr. Reed, there he is. And he gets nothing on that one. Hiley showing a little frustration on that tackle.
I think Darius kind of thought the same thing, Chris. You know, they have to come up and shoot. Yeah, they're going to have to gamble at this point with 2:24 left. They need some big plays and fast. Right here, Darius Hiley comes up.
See him get up, Tim. Very frustrated.
Yes. But, you know, he's played a great game today. You know, Darius Hiley really has shown the ability to lead a team, and he's been able to play on both sides of the football. We've been calling his name quite a bit on tackling.
Got a flag down on 2nd down and 15. And they're going to walk it back. That's against the
false start. Offense.
Well, folks at home, stay with us, because immediately following the game,
5-yard penalty.
We're going to have a special presentation from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, as well as we're going to be choosing the outstanding offensive and defensive player immediately following today's game. So you at home,
false start,
pick your choice.
Defense.
Who would you pick, offense?
5-yard penalty.
I think it's an easy pick for the offense, Tim. Troy Smith on the bootleg on the left, 40. Still up on his feet. And he takes it down to the 34-yard line.
Chris, I'll tell you, I have to say this, because that play right there, Troy Smith made that happen. The way he hides the football, fakes the football, and handles the bootleg is just unbelievable for
illegal
his age.
procedure.
You can see here, everybody's looking for the football. Nobody knows who's got it at this point, is when they first realize he's got the football. And again, you see Robinson come up with a nice block. But again, he picks up this yardage basically on the way he handles the football in the bootleg. Again, Leonard Brown came up with the tackle. 7th grader out of A.B. Hart. We've been talking about merit, role, and citizenship. Well, the ones that are out here looking at this for the first time thinking, I want to get into Muni football, that's part of it. But the next part is education. Getting your life in the right direction. And you're going to hear more and more as we talk to coaches, that's really what it's all about.
Minute 37 to play, clock running. Here's a handoff, Ziegler, and he's going to be dropped for a 2-yard loss.
There he is, Hiley. for I'm sure at least the 10th time today. He's come up and made a big tackle.
And we got an injured player. You know, Tim, we talk about, you know, one team's got to win, one team's got to lose, but as we watch the play again, that's Ziegler. And we'll see if we can see what happened. He may have twisted the ankle there. Hiley in with another tackle. He's got to have a half dozen at least.
Well, we can see the rain coming down. We were hoping that the weather was going to be kind to us, but for some reason, the Muni Football Championship in 1996 will go down in history, as this is the only time that I can ever remember that we've had to cancel football games because of 14 inches of snow hitting our city.
Maintenance crew did an outstanding job getting the snow off of the field so they can play here today. But as you say, the rain coming down pretty hard now. Special turf on this field.
There's our floor director, Junior Ortez. You can tell, well, if I'm going to get wet, at least I'm going to stay warm. I'm right by the heaters. Looking at the Glenville A sideline, and in a few moments, we're going to walk away here pretty happy with the Peewee Championship as they lead 19-7 with 1:21 to go.
Try to see if we can pick up who the injured player was. And that was Ziegler. Tremaine Ziegler.
Great comment.
Two teams who came into this game with identical 6-1 records. Two teams who shut out their opponents in the playoffs. And the Glenville A's today showing just a little bit better on this Sunday afternoon. 1:21 to play. They will be the Peewee champions for 1996. Tim, I don't think any of these kids were complaining on having an opportunity to play on a field like this for the championship game, huh?
Well, Chris, when Joe Wise had gone to look to see where we were going to be able to play it, one of the first things he said to me is, can you imagine the kids' faces and expressions when they first walk in here? And when the Glenville A's came around the track for the first time, eyes lit up, and you could see smiles ear to ear. And a dream come true. Under the lights, championship game.
It's a beautiful facility, home of the Lakewood Rangers. I remember riding by here about 3, 4, 5 weeks ago when St. Ed's and St. Ignatius went at it. The place was jam-packed. People lined up outside the fence. One of the top facilities in the, really in the state, the entire state. Saw the pass was incomplete by Troy Smith. It's kind of academic right now. 1:09 to play. Saints go back on offense, and they trail by 2 touchdowns. We've seen crazier things happen. Got 1:09 to play, and we got movement.
We have offsetting penalties, encroachment defense, motion offense. Same down. So you gotta be still.
Okay, we're in the rain at Lakewood Stadium where the Glenville A's lead 19-7. We're in fourth quarter. Stay with us. We'll be right back for the championship finals here in the Peewee Championship game.
Angry man takes to the street again to take it back from pushers and gangs and make it safe for his 4-year-old. Whose side are you on? An after-school program that develops children's artistic skills is about to lose its funding. The alternative? A spray can. Whose side are you on? A mother works 2 jobs so she can raise her kids in a decent neighborhood. Now she must face the new guy on the block, the one dealing drugs. Whose side are you on? A battle is raging. Parents all across America are struggling to protect their children. Call us. We know hundreds of ways you can take their side and help. We're fighting for the children. Whose side are you on?
All right, welcome back to Lakewood Stadium. Minute 9 to play, 4th quarter for the Peewee Championship game between the Glenville A's and the Desmond Howard Saints. We're back to live action. Saints with the football. They got a first down and 10 at the 42. Hiley hands off. And a little questionable call there. You're down 12 points and handing off to your running back, Darryl Bryant. Clock running, 55 seconds left to play. The Glenville A's will be the Peewee champions for 1996. They run the record to 7-1. Coach Clay Thompson will be right back here for the bantamweight game. Tim, it'll be his first championship. Hiley, here's the blitz, and gets away. And the ball is batted up, incomplete. Back there defensively, Antonio Watson. 23 seconds left to play.
All you heard was do my sister and look back.
We have a 3rd down and 13.
Again, Chris, you talked about rolling out. You can see right here, and basic Glenville A's are playing back. They know they have to throw.
Hiley tried that unbalanced look again. The ball was almost intercepted. And the Desmond Howard Saints are down to their final play of the game. 4th down, 13. And the players on the Glenville bench starting to celebrate already. The fans of the A's whooping it up down there. They're having fun in the rain. Quarterback sneak up the middle. Hiley gets 4 yards, and that's probably going to about do it. The 1st and 10 for Glenville. They're going to win it by a score of 19-7. They will be the Peewee champions for 1996. Tremendous performance. Antonio Reed, Tremaine Ziegler, and Troy Smith showing a lot of leadership at quarterback. And the fans, as I say, whooping it up down there. Not at all concerned with the rain coming down here at Lakewood Stadium. 1st and 10.
Gonna get that bucket ready for
Reed,
him.
40. Carrying 2 guys with them down to the 38-yard line. And they're counting it off here at Lakewood Stadium. And it's over.
Bishop.
Hey, get your helmets, man.
Very happy team right now.
Number 1. Hey, get your helmet, man. Get your helmet. Hey, do it.
There's a coach, Glenville A's. Yes, young man, you are number 1.
The 1996 Peewee champions, the Glenville A's, coached by Clay Thompson. And in a little bit, we will go down to the field and have the presentation of the trophy with Desiree Powell. And we'll be doing that right after we take a short time out here at Lakewood Stadium. The final score, Glenville A's 19, the Desmond Howard Saints 7. We'll be right back with the presentation of the trophy.
You are 100% unadulterated energy. You have no choice but movement. You aren't acted on. You are action. You have the power to make the world a better place. You already know how to do it. Volunteer now for the American Red Cross. Call your local chapter for details.
How will you spend the money you save by switching to Cleveland Public Power? According to a utility industry survey, a typical family can save $205 a year by switching to Cleveland Public Power. We buy long-term electricity from companies on the electricity grid that have much lower prices than CEI's and bring that electricity to you. The money we save, we pass on to your family. Switch to Cleveland Public Power, re-energized.
Hey, welcome back to Lakewood High School Field. And right now we're going to go down to Desiree and meet the winning coach and today's outstanding players.
Before we talk to the winning coach and the winning team, as well as the offensive and defensive player of the game, we want to first make a very special presentation by Mr. Bill Moore, representing the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and Museum.
On behalf of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, we take great pleasure in inviting a winning team to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Thanks for a great season.
Presentation being made to the coach, Mr. Clay Thompson of the Glenville A's. But before we start talking to the winning coach, first we're going to recognize the defensive player of the game from the Desmond Howard, Darius Hiley, number 1, who made 12 tackles throughout the game. We want to congratulate you. First off, what did your coaches tell you, as well as the rest of the team, before the game? What was your strategy?
It was going there and play good.
Okay, going into the second half, the first half was kind of close. Things were kind of even. What did it take from the coaches to tell you guys try to hang in there? I know we came on the losing end, but what did they tell you going into the second half?
Don't give up and keep playing.
Well, it was obvious you didn't give up. You had 12 tackles. You did an outstanding job. Congratulations. Okay, moving on to the winning Glenville A's with their coach, Mr. Clay Thompson. The offensive player being Mr. Antonio Reed, number 5, who had 17 carries for a total of 92 yards. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I'm going to ask you the same question. Now, I know you came on the winning side of the whole ball game, but what did your coaches say to you at the beginning of the game?
Come here and play and don't give up.
Don't give up. Okay. What would you like to say to your coach and your team members?
Thanks for blocking. Thanks for calling the plays.
Okay, moving on to the winning coach, Mr. Clay Thompson. We know this isn't your first time in the championship game. However, it is your first win. How does it feel?
Feels good.
What did you say to yourself as a coach going into this game, knowing you've been here before, in order to make a different outcome?
Well, we just prepared our kids for whatever Desmond offered. And I told the kids that no matter if they get down, that just play your game and stay together and you'll be victorious.
Well, you did that, and congratulations to you, your coaching staff, as well as all your players. Right now, we're going to go back to Tim upstairs for the recap of the game.
Thanks, Desiree. Well, Chris, it's been a great show. When we look at some of the stats, it really kind of tells the story.
Well, the Glenville A's MVP of the offense, Mr. Antonio Reed, the A's rushed for over 150 yards in this game, 37 carries. Give Thompson credit. I mean, his first offensive series, he tried to get a little cute. He said, the heck with this, threw it out the window. He said, we're going to go with our 2 big hogs in the backfield, Mr. Ziegler and Reed. Reed wins the MVP. He had almost 100 yards rushing. They dominated the line of scrimmage, Tim. Vince Lombardi once said it. He said, it's a game of blocking and tackling. The team that does that better is going to win the game. And that's what Glenville did here this afternoon.
That's exactly what happened. And truthfully, you know, the old saying he told us before it all started, they will not be denied. And that team showed the character out here today. Well, we saw the Glenville A's capture the Peewee championship by a score of 19-7 over the Desmond Howard Saints. Stay with us, because coming up next, it's going to be for the Bantamweight Championship, where Clay Thompson will go for number 2 tonight. As you look right here, the MVP on offense, Antonio Reed, is going to pick up a touchdown here where we heard about him running through him and over him, but this time he runs away and pings his team to championship. The Peewee champions of 1996 are the Glenville A's. Stay with us, folks, because coming up next, it's for the Bantamweight, where Glenville A's will play Cal number 6.
We hope you enjoyed today's game. Make sure you head over to our YouTube channel, TV20 Cleveland, and subscribe to get the latest videos. I'm Christian Patterson. Thanks for watching TV20 Classic Sports.